I'm wondering, like, if you're going to fight him, where would you fight him at, number one? And number two, are you saying that from 140 to 147, you're willing to fluctuate and move back and forth as opposed to just moving up and weight or whatever? What's your intent?
Well, my intent, look at my strength and conditioning coach, he said that he believes that I can make 140 comfortably. I trust, the people, my team around me. If their opportunity presents itself, I would love to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Ryan Garcia stirred controversy during Stephen A. Smith's live broadcast, saying he would have no problem moving up to 140 pounds to face Shakur Stevenson if Stevenson is willing to come forward and accept the challenge.
Go. I want that. Right. If the opportunity presents itself, I just want boxing to be at the top. I want to make these fights happen, and I know I could beat these guys.
He went on to argue that his position in the sport has grown to the point where he can influence the biggest matchups in the division, presenting himself as a major draw who can push these blockbuster fights into reality.
And, I've always had the following. I've always had, all the opportunities you can have as a superstar. Now that I have this piece that I kind of was missing, of course, I would love to keep fighting and kind of carry boxing. I actually lead this generation of young fighters of popularity and now of being a world champion. So I have all the opportunities to become the face of boxing, but now I just have to prove it with my dedication and all my fights that are going to be lined up. I have to do it now. I would love to defend my title, and if that happens, let's do that too.
Shakur Stevenson quickly responded with a sharp warning, delivering a prediction that escalated the exchange and shifted the verbal battle into something far more serious and intense for Ryan Garcia.
He's going to get murdered. He's going to get beat up. So since y'all felt that way, then let's make the fight happen. Let me show y'all.
Long before that viral live TV confrontation, the two fighters had already clashed in person, where tensions boiled over into a chaotic exchange filled with harsh insults and direct threats of physical confrontation.
I have Shakur beating him, though.
Yo,
I do have you beating him.
I will whoop your ass.
I'll pop that. Yeah, right back in that mouth. I'll have you looking like a saber gap tooth tiger. I'll do you dirty, bro. No lie, bro.
You suck.
Hey, if I have, you though. Oh my, here we go. Hey, not the same fighter. Hey, not the same fighter. Not the same. Hey, when I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say? When I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say?
I was there.
Hey, no, when I put a beat on you. When I'm talking about you, you got no power. You got no power.
And you lost, and you still scared him to this day.
No, you. Bro, I'm gonna knock that gap right back in your mouth. I'm gonna knock that gap into your mouth again. Hey, you fixed the teeth. You fixed the teeth, but I'm gonna knock that right back in.
Ryan Garcia pushed back against any idea of intimidation, making it clear that he's back in a far more aggressive headspace and signaling that he's prepared to inflict serious damage once he steps back into the ring.
I'm gonna give them what they want. They want a bad dude, I'll give you a bad dude. I'm a killer. I have a killer instinct, so it's kind of you lose the killer instinct in you.
You do want to hurt this person.
Yeah, of course.
Shakur Stevenson further expressed strong confidence, presenting himself as the highest level competitor in the sport, operating with a level of polish and precision that he believes no one else can replicate. He added that his versatility against any fighting style is what sets him apart, positioning him as the most complete and dangerous contender in boxing right now.
Honestly, for me personally, I feel like I'm like the best fighter in boxing. And I don't like mean this in no disrespectful way, because I got a lot of fighters in boxing that I still watch to this day that I like. And I'm like, okay, I'm still this. Usyk, I love Usyk. I love Bivol. I love them Eastern European styles. But for me, like, I just feel like I'm a fighter that could do it all. Like, I can do it all. Like, whatever needs to be done to get the job done, I can do that. So some nights you might see I might outbox people. Then some nights I might stand there and beat a guy up and beat them at their own game. So I think for me, I'm the most complete fighter in boxing.
Shifting the pressure back onto his opponent, Stevenson made it clear he accepts the fight and challenged Ryan Garcia to prove what he's been saying. Since the move to that weight division came from Garcia himself, Stevenson is now calling on him to make it official at 140 pounds and stop delaying the agreement with any further excuses.
Did he make 40 again?
He said he could. He the one who came out and said, like, let's fight at 140. he said that. So if he said that, it's like, okay, you can make the weight, then let's do it.
Some of the most influential figures in combat sports are now fully engaged by this growing rivalry, especially because of the dramatic contrast in fighting styles. Joe Rogan shared that he finds the matchup extremely intriguing, while also cautioning that Garcia would be facing an entirely different level of opponent once he steps inside the ring.
That was art. That was art. That's boxing at the highest level. And I'm fascinated because now they're talking about him and Ryan Garcia. I am fascinated to watch that fight because Shakur's a different animal. Ryan looked amazing in that fight. I mean, he looked amazing. I mean, he looked so fast, and it was a beautiful fight to watch. But that's an interesting fight. I like that fight. Shakur and him, I like that fight a lot. Because Shakur's just a different animal. You're dealing with a whole different kind of skill set.
Further intensifying the discussion, pound for pound standout Terrence, Crawford analyzed the matchup from a technical standpoint, explaining how things could unfold once the two fighters finally meet in the ring. He suggested the contest may not be closely contested at all, warning that Garcia's aggressive and careless tendencies could expose him to a sharp and punishing display of counterpunching.
Yeah, Shakur. Listen, I went down to camp before he fought Teofimo, and I seen his focus and the level of, intense training he was doing. And I said, I don't know it all, but I know Shakur gonna whoop Teofimo's ass. I tweeted that way before the fight, and he went out there and did it. Right. Shakur got a jab. Shakur got head movement. Shakur got defense. Shakur knows range. Shakur have good legs. So I look at that fight like it's not gonna be as a competitive fight like everybody think, because if Ryan get careless, he's going to get countered all day.
The conversation then shifted into a more controversial direction, as respected voices in the sport began comparing Garcia's explosive athletic ability with the concerns surrounding his past. While they recognized that his lightning-fast speed has the power to flip any fight instantly, they also raised questions about whether previous controversies have cast a shadow over some of his most significant wins.
Ryan's speed is extraordinary. He relies on it a lot, but I mean, that's not a knock. That's just like, if you had it, everybody should rely on that. I mean, that
Shakur's
speed
not
is
slow.
Nuts. Shakur's a different animal.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, a lot of people thought Devin Haney was different, though, right? A lot of people thought Devin Haney was going to give him real problems. When he dropped Devin early with a left hook, everybody was like, oh, this is different. I wish he didn't have a positive drug test in that fight, because that fucking tainted everything.
Yeah. They know each other far too well. I think him and Devin fought each other the most out of all of them. Shakur and Ryan fought as well, which Shakur won all the times that they fought. But I just think, him and Devin, the history of it, Devin came in there overconfident. Ryan, being juiced up, added a little whatever it did. But, you can't take away from him landing the punches that he was landing. You can't take away from the performance that, he was doing. But when you on steroids, that add to.
It definitely adds something.
Henry Garcia confidently laid out a strategy he believes could bring down the undefeated contender, even going as far as forecasting a dramatic ending that would send shockwaves through the boxing world. He also suggested that they already have a mental advantage stemming from their past amateur encounters, where he claimed Stevenson was never able to land a meaningful shot on his son.
In the Shakur fight, how does it end in your opinion? Decision, knockout?
We hit him with a body shot, he's done.
Why the body shot?
He can't take this body shot. We already know.
Really?
Yeah, and he doesn't have a better jab than my son. My son has an awesome jab. We beat him in the amateurs, okay, with the jabs. When Ryan was young, Ryan was only 16 years old. But he qualified 17, 18 with Shakur. Shakur was on that level. So if you're within 2 years, they're going to put you in that category. Okay, and I said, Ryan, We didn't know Shakur. They didn't know us. But I said, you know what, Ryan, let's work on that jab. And Ryan was throwing that beautiful jab, pop, pop, pop. I said, okay, that's what we're going to work on. Let's start off there. My God, wait, let me finish. That jab was awesome. Shakur never hit Ryan.
The situation escalated as Ryan Garcia's father strongly pushed back against ongoing criticism, passionately defending his family's reputation in boxing. He reminded everyone of the difficult journey they've endured to reach elite-level competition, emphasizing that they have been competing against top-tier opponents since Ryan's early years.
We've been doing this shit since 7 years old. We've been kicking. We've been winning a lot of nationals. Trade a guy and try to win one national and see what happens. Try. We won 15. Wow. And my other son won 7, Sean Garcia. It's hard. You gotta go through the district, you gotta go through the state, you gotta go through the regional, the state, the regional, and then you gotta go through a national. You gotta go through 4 steps. And you're fighting the best of the best. So don't tell me that you know my son and that he's not a good boxer. Oh, it pisses me off.
Top lightweight challenger Frank Martin brought a dose of realism to the discussion, warning both fighters about the risks that come with moving into unfamiliar weight divisions. Speaking from personal experience inside the ring, he explained that competing at an unnatural weight can wear a fighter down, sometimes before they even notice their energy fading.
Yeah. I feel like, man, with this, man, fight at the weight you're comfortable at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that weight shit is real. You know, you could be in there and you don't know until you in there. You know, like, that you was drained or whatever. You find out then. You know, if you ain't never experienced it, you'll find out. You know what I'm saying? When you in there, your legs might be tired or whatever. You know, you find out quick. But you gotta, you know, fight at the weight you're comfortable at. You know, that's what I said.
Former world champion Rolly Romero brought a different angle to the conversation, cutting through the excitement to focus on the raw physical and genetic differences between the two fighters. He noted that although Stevenson is highly skilled and technically polished, he doesn't have the explosive, almost extraordinary athletic traits that make Garcia such a dangerous opponent.
No, but Shakur is an incredible boxer. But you're an incredible boxer. You're not a puncher, you know, but you're still an incredible boxer. And not everyone gets to punch hard. Not everyone gets this. Not everyone gets superhuman reflexes. Not everyone's super agile. Not everyone gets like a granite chin. You got to do with what you got.
Former world champion Gary Russell Jr. shifted the focus to the mental side of the matchup, suggesting that Garcia is unlikely to show any fear or caution towards Stevenson's punching power. He added that although Garcia clearly has the kind of explosive force capable of causing real damage, the key factor in the fight will be whether he can safely get inside without exposing himself to a counter or falling into a well-set trap.
Ryan has the ability to hurt him. I believe, just like you mentioned with Shakur, Ryan won't respect Shakur's power. And he does have the ability to hurt Shakur. The difference is, I think Shakur...
Can he hit him?
That's going to be the issue. How you attack and when you attack. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the issue. Mm-hmm. Just like with Andy Hiroka, the same way with my younger brother competing against Andy Hiroka, it had to be a strategy. Just like Teofimo Lopez. Mm-hmm. He didn't know how to properly close the distance. Yeah. And when he did close the distance, he didn't know what to do once he did close the distance.
I'm here.
You feel me? So that's really the difference.
Expanding on the tactical side of the matchup, Russell explained that going to the body alone won't be sufficient to break down a high-level defensive fighter. He suggested that it would take an elite, carefully executed game plan to truly crack that kind of defense, adding that he's not willing to reveal the full strategy for how it could be done.
I believe the body is important within
every fight. Yeah.
I think what's important is actually the strategy of it, not just saying go to the body.
Right.
You have to really understand the sport to really do this shit.
I think kind of
I ain't trying to get y'all too much.
Yeah, it was to be honest.
Former champion Sean Porter described Stevenson's defensive awareness in striking terms, comparing it to almost superhuman perception, as if he can read incoming shots before they fully develop. He argued that the only realistic way to deal with that level of awareness is to break his timing and rhythm, shutting down his sight lines and pushing him into positions where he's no longer operating comfortably.
Told and not told.
I get the analogy of like if you play a arcade shooting game, right? And you got the circles that pop up everywhere, and you gotta go like that and hit them all, right? For Shakur, he sees it all before it happens. So he sees it, boom. He sees it, boom. To me, the body's important because now you got his eyes doing this. You got to get this kid doing this with his eyes. As long as he can look at you like this and just find it, that's all day and all night for Shakur.
All you gotta do is break his control.
Yeah, you just gotta break his control. And how do you break his control? To me, controlling the distance.
My little brother for Andy Hiroka.
Yeah, exactly.
The discussion then moved into a deeper analysis of why Stevenson is so difficult to deal with inside the ring. Russell suggested that his greatest strength doesn't come down to standard technical boxing skills alone, but rather his unusual talent for controlling the pace mentally and deciding exactly where the fight takes place, almost like he's managing every inch of the ring on his own terms.
I personally think that Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson need to fight next.
Really?
You got two fighters that just did what they did.
That'd be a good fight. I still slightly, in my opinion, I would still favor Shakur because I feel as though he does control the revenue. That's what I think his skill is, honestly. That's what I think his skill is. Like, his skill isn't like his boxing ability. His skill is, a lot of times when you watch people fight, you can see that one fighter is in more control of what's going on in that ring. He maintains a certain level of control with his distance and range. I believe that's what his true skill.
In his closing and most intense assessment, Russell pointed out that Garcia's unusual height and extended reach could compel Stevenson to constantly advance through dangerous territory just to connect with clean punches. He then heightened the anticipation by suggesting that Stevenson might only be able to chip away at Garcia's confidence, while warning that a single error could open the door for Garcia to unleash punishing offense and potentially overwhelm him completely.
But if you can break that, then you got something different. I don't know if Ryan will be able to break it. But I think he's tall enough, and he got enough reach, whereas though Shakur is going to have to close the distance to actually hit Ryan. You know what I'm saying? He got to cross that line of fire to hit Ryan versus he just making them come into him and he just pop shot them. And Ryan got some pop. If Ryan touches his ass, he got the ability to hurt Shakur. I don't think Shakur has the ability to hurt him. He can hurt his pride, but I don't think he can physically hurt.
Rising prospect Colonel Martin offered his perspective on the matchup, basing his opinion on his own experience of sharing the ring with a lightweight world champion. He admitted that Garcia certainly has the kind of power that could create an upset, but he ultimately sees Stevenson controlling the bout, relying on his sharper ring IQ and highly elusive defensive skills to take command.
And I think I won't say it's too much. Ryan has surprised us before, but I feel like I'll take Shakur in that fight for sure. Shakur got way better at boxing IQ and, way too good at defense for, the stuff that Ryan would try to pull. I feel like, I'll definitely take Shakur in that fight.
As this heated rivalry keeps escalating, the boxing world is now watching closely, aware that it could turn into one of the most intriguing tactical battles in modern memory. With both fighters exchanging sharp verbal attacks, disputing weight conditions, and backed by sharply divided opinions from analysts, the situation has reached a breaking point where there is no turning back. Both careers now seem tied to what happens next, with everything on the line. One small error inside the ring could completely reshape their futures. Fans are witnessing a rare blend of genuine animosity and elite-level skill, making this more than just a standard bout and pushing it toward instant classic territory. The anticipation is fully set, and neither side can afford to retreat at this stage. So what do you expect when they finally meet to settle it? Will Ryan Garcia land the decisive shot that changes everything? Or will Shakur Stevenson deliver a defensive showcase that shuts him down completely? Will the fight even be finalized at 140 pounds? Or could negotiations collapse right at the finish line? After all the confrontations and public exchanges, who really has the psychological edge? Can Garcia establish himself as the defining star of this era? Or will Stevenson ultimately prove too sharp and expose the gaps in his game? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more breakdowns and updates like this.